start recording and start streaming. Oh, and away she go. Anyway, hi there. My name is Kelsey D. Crawford. I make comics and art. Thank you for joining me in today's live stream. Today is a different angle than usual because I will be working on this watercolor painting here. Let's get a zoom in to get some pencils in there. Yes, gorgeous. Yes, I already laid down some watercolor flats last night. This was inspired by this piece. I do not remember the artist's name off the top of my head, but the piece is called Two Brothers, which is really cool. This is for an art exhibition that will be on display in Columbus, Ohio, called Comics versus Art. More info about that will be announced the closer that we get to the date of opening night for the gallery show. But today is just going to be working on this piece because this needs to get done ASAP. The first thing that I got to do though is I got to get the watercolors going because I missed a spot, so I'm going to take care of that real quick. I'm be working with this kind of a midnight blue here. Hold on. Come on, activate. There we go. I don't usually work in watercolors, so this has been a nice change of pace compared to what I usually work. That said, the dragon and this main figure are going to be rendered in Copic markers. I do have the watercolor brush to get in there for the fine details. I do not have the colors that I want to get in there for the finer details. But I do have them in Copic markers. I did a little test on this type of paper with Copic markers before, and they work just fine. There we go. I'm just going to hit a couple of spots with this dark blue wash because this dark blue is not as opaque as I would like it to be. So I may have to go over the blue a couple of different times. Oh, my roommate's building furniture in the other room in case you hear any thumping. Now, could I paint these broad swaths in a different brush? Yes, I could. Am I doing that right now? No, because this is my favorite brush to work with. Why is it my favorite brush to work with? Because it gets the stroke look that I like. Also, it does not eat up water the same way some of my other brushes do. Keeping an eye on the chat in case anything pops up. Yeah, this blue really needed a second coating. Really needed that second coat. I'm gonna leave the orange in the background as it is. Almost done with this blue. How goes building the bookcase?
It's going. Need a hammer.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Second coat of blue is done. Heck yeah. Filled in some of the gaps there. There we go. Now you can see the pencils. So, cool. We got that done. I'm just going to take a look at this here. You know what? I might actually be able to get the color of the dress out of the watercolors here. I'm going to give it a shot. But that requires switching brush types. Okay. Don't fall apart. Jeez. Okay. I got a plethora to choose from. Okay. So. Some of the details are kind of fine. So. I'm going to pick out the most likely candidates here before I make a decision. The protector cap just popped off of that one. Hold on. There. Okay. That, I don't know why that's with my watercolor brushes. I use that for glue. And da-dum. And there we go. Okay. Those are the most likely candidates that will work to get into some of the nooks and crannies here. Let me take a look. That one might be a bit too thick. Might have to use two brushes, one for the itty bitty nooks and then one for the broader strokes. Okay, so we'll use this one for the broader strokes. And here we go, a 0 round for the itty bitties. By the way, this paintbrush mount thing, one of the best things that I ever got. Okay. Need more water. That's the problem with these little bitty brushes. Need a lot of water to activate. Okay, that'll do it. Looking at the color choices that I have for the watercolors, I might actually be able to get away with more watercolor in this than I thought. Still going to use Copics for some of the colors I do not have watercolors for, but still. Alright, so we got those itty bitty nooks. Wash that out a little bit better. Okay. Oh my geez. Okay. Not had this problem before. the protector cap didn't want to pop off of that one. That was weird. Okay. You know, I don't know if the original piece that this is inspired by was done in watercolors or not, but I more want to capture the spirit of that original piece, not the technique. Trying really hard not to have the meat of my hand touch the blue, just in case. The blue should be dry, but still. Ideally, I would like to keep streaming until this piece is done, because I want this piece done before the end of the day. But we will see what happens. I'm laying down watercolors first, then once the watercolors are dry, I'll go over everything with probably a Tombow marker or the zebra fine line marker that I have to add some line art in there. Give it the comics feel. Okay. that. Oh, there's actually a little spot of either blue or black that needs to sit there, but I need to let the teal dry first or else it's going to run. Okay. Okay, so here's what I have so far. Boop. Tilt it a little so that you can see some of the line art there. I basically colored in the dress, although I did miss a spot right there that needs to be colored in with the dark blue of the stone. So we're going to take care of that next. The stone or the black background? Don't know which yet. That's a little part that I got to improvise a bit from the original. So, because the original doesn't really have a gap like that. So we're just going to improvise a little bit. Yeah, we're paying homage to the original composition of the painting and the spirit of the painting. We're not going to like do a one-for-one translation of it. Now, if I were super impatient, I would probably plug in a hairdryer, but I don't have a hairdryer, so we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we are just going to... Okay. There, we'll try the blue first, see how it looks. If at the end it doesn't look right, we can color it in with black, but blue is the lighter of the two. There. And we got it. Cool. Now, when you're working with watercolors, it's usually better to have 2 cups of water, one for the initial dip and one for rinsing off. I did not do that because I'm lazy. And also I have my own drinking water over here, which I do my best to keep separate. Now, the way I tell them apart is I keep my drinking water and my watercolor water in 2 different, very different styles of like mugs. Like, clearly, one is a Coca-Cola glass and the other is a mug with an Art Snacks logo on it and has watercolor residue along the rims. Like, I'm gonna see if I can show ya. Yeah, you see that watercolor residue? That doesn't really wash off on a mug, so. Okay, I'm planning my next color and which one I want to do. Let me look at the Copics. Okay, just gonna do a little compare contrast. Yeah, we're gonna want to do like a red orange, which I don't know if I have a red orange. Technically I do. It's not the tone that I want though. So, Copic markers it is. I need to move these paintings. These are the little dragon paintings that I did on the Instagram. The Instagram live stream. Not that long ago. Earlier this week, actually. Just going to make it a regular habit to do Instagram streams on Sunday afternoons moving forward. So, heck yeah. For those of you who are new to these streams, I stream on Twitch Tuesdays and Saturdays at 2 p.m. EST, usually. I try to leave some room for outside forces. Like this upcoming week, I will not be streaming on Tuesday, which I want to double check the date here. Okay, Tuesday, August 30th, I will not be doing a live stream on Twitch that day because I will be out of town visiting family. But I will be streaming next week, Saturday the 3rd, September 3rd, if all goes well. We'll see. I might be able to book a surprise appearance at a local comic shop for board game demo day. We will see. I need to reach out to them and ask them about that. Anyway, colors. Yes. Okay. For the hair, I'm going to start working with YR07. Zoom that in. Which is a cadmium orange type color. I'm doing this because I don't have an equivalent watercolor to work with. So. Oh, that's the chisel end. I need the brush end. Okay. Yeah, because there are different types of Copic markers. This is a Copic sketch. The difference between the Copic sketch and, say, a Copic chow, the Copic sketch has a chisel end and a brush end. And I will be working with the brush end this time around. Oh yeah, I would not be able to get that equivalent color out of any of my watercolors. So what I'm telling myself is I need to get more oranges in my watercolor palette. Eventually, I would like to get a new, excuse me, a new webcam. That way you can get a better look at some of the traditional stuff whenever I do traditional work. Because as is, you may not be getting that great of a view. Sorry. Well, I might have to go over the teal again for the second coat. Now, if I were a lefty, this would be better, but I am not a lefty. Back in 2014? I think it was 2014. No, it was 2013 that this happened. I remember now. Back in 2013, I actually injured my drawing wrist, this one here, in a skating accident. That was not fun. The doctor who worked with me, though, said that drawing was a kind of like a occupational therapy. So just keep drawing. And I was like, oh, that is not a problem for me. But for a little while, I did have to do a lot of writing with my left hand. And for a little while, I was a bit ambidextrous, but I am not anymore because I am out of practice with that. Nowadays, though, I use my left hand when I want to get some really scratchy writing for whatever reason. Okay, so we got the hair done. Oh, that is not a good angle. There we go. Got the hair done. I would not have been able to do that with my watercolors because I don't have that bright of an orange in watercolor. And I missed background elements again, so real glad I have not put the watercolors away yet. Because of the small detail though, I'm going to have to work with my 0 round. Look at the size of that tip. I'm going to use my hair as a negative space. Look at that tiny tip. Round zeros. Okay. Oh, okay. Thinking of the next color to do. Speaking of colors, I know for certain that the skin tone is going to need to be done in Copic markers. I do not have a flesh tone in watercolor. I'm going to take a look at the original source image again so I can get an idea of what color the dragon ought to be, because there's a dragon in this thing in the original. Unfortunately, I really don't like the muted color of the dragon because it makes it blend into the surrounding rock. I understand that the focus is supposed to be on the human figure here, but I really wanted to change that up in this homage / send up to this. So I'm thinking,
Oh, Bibri?
she's walking towards the usual corner like she wants to scratch it.
Yes, I know you. I know your ways too well. Come here, madam. Come here, madam. Me. Come here, madam. Madam. If you are good, I will give you gravy.
Okay. I can see why the original artist picked the colors that he did for the dragon, though, because I imagine that he wanted the human to be the focal point in this original piece. This is the piece that I'm working as the basis in this watercolor painting / homage. So knowing that, I'm probably going to need to make the dragon a more muted, almost like a gray, I'm thinking. Probably a gray. And take another look. Yeah, kind of a gray-green. I do have that. I have that in watercolor, actually. Yeah, I may have to do that in watercolor because Copics doesn't really have the tone that I want for it. Okay. That is going to need a swatch like this. A 1/2-inch stroke brush. Something like that. Quite possibly. To test out this watercolor, let me paint along the side here, along the margin. Just to make sure that this is the color that I actually want. Oh. Hmm. I'm not sure I like that. That is a lot more brown than I expected. I thought it would have a little bit more green to it. It does not.
Bree, I see you. Yes, you.
All right, we're gonna have a cat break.
Bree. Yeah, you killed it. Good job, baby.
She might try to swipe at my ankles. Hold on.
Oh, baby. There you go. Oh goodness, I startled. Treat. It's because you killed it. Because you killed the mousey, you get a treat. You going to take the treat? There you go. That's a good baby. That's a good baby.
You have to give her constant reassurance. She is very neurotic.
That's a good baby. Good girl. Yeah. Yeah. Good. You ate it all. That's a good baby. If you kill it, you get another treat. Yum, yum, yum. Good job, baby. Good job, you killed it. You killed it, so you get another treat. Go ahead.
I'm trying to reward her. Trying to reward her behaviors so that she gets treats when she kills the mousey.
That's a good baby. Did you eat all the treat? Oh, there's a little bit. There's a little bit still. Yep. Ow.
Her pupils are dilated, which tells me she still wants to play.
Boop. Yeah. You're going to have to do better than that to kill the mousey. Yeah. Yeah. Go. Yep. Oh, baby. Mickey Huntress.
I think she's lost interest.
Hey, baby. Yeah. She's a good baby. Pika, pika, pika. Yeah. It's a good baby. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, goodness. Oh, I know you don't like to be picked up, but you are so cute.
She does not like to be held by anybody except me. And even then, she is a grump. An utter grump about it. Mm-hmm.
Yes? Do you wish to tell the viewers something? Hmm? Yeah? Mwah. Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
It's not torture if she's not running away. All right, I'll put you down. She has what I call the little old lady blanket on top of the ottoman over there. I call it the little old lady blanket because it reflects back her body heat. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that watercolor tone is not what I thought it was. Let's try this one. Ugh, that's kind of a sickly green. I don't think I like that. Yeah, nah, don't like it. Maybe a gray? I have a pale gray. And then I also have a more steely blue. Let's work with smaller brushes to test these colors before I do the big swatches. Okay. Gray could work. It's always a good idea to test your watercolors no matter what paper you're painting on, because different papers will have different effects on your watercolors. That is very similar to the blue that I have, but it's a lot more muted. Might use this for finer details, but I think I'll do the gray for the dragon. Let's start with the wings. Okay. 245. Okay. I might, you know what? I know I said that I would be streaming until this piece is done, but I can't really paint in silence. So, if it stays quiet for, I don't know, we'll give it another 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, if it's still quiet, I'll turn the live stream off, because then I can turn my radio on. I would play it now, but I don't want my stream to be hit with a copyright strike. So yeah, that's why I don't usually play music during these streams. In case you were wondering, I tend to fill the silence with my talking. Alright, let's try the gray. Wings first. actually really like this gray. Wow, this gray lends itself really, really well to washing. Holy crap. If I remember correctly, I think this gray is Core brand, QOR. Highly recommend them, by the way. They are very good. Their pigments are very strong. Them and M. Graham and Company. I like to recommend those two because like Core is really good for more opaque watercolors for the most part. M. Graham and Company are really good for watercolors that are almost like gouache in their opacity. And by that I mean, I'll show you. So like most of the colors on this color swatch are Core, but there are two that are M. Graham and Company, and that's these two here. This gold and this brown are both M. Graham and Company watercolors. And what makes them stand out from Core is that I'm pretty sure Gore is bound with gum arabic. I know for a fact that M. Graham and Company binds their pigments with honey instead, which makes it much, much richer. So highly recommend M. Graham and Company watercolors. They are on the pricier end of things. I got mine through Art Snacks when I had a subscription with them. Still highly recommend them. Core watercolors were recommended to me by an art friend of mine back in Wheeling, West Virginia, Amanda Carney. Highly recommend that you check out their stuff. When I post this up on YouTube and on my blog site, I will leave a link to their stuff in the descriptions. But yeah. Because her watercolors, very vibrant. Very, very vibrant. Okay. Ooh. For the other wing, I'm going to actually switch over to this brush rather than the half-inch stroke that I was working with, because I need to get into some finer details right by the figure here, and this allows itself for finer details than the stroke does. Okay. When in doubt, rotate your canvas. I am lifting water off of this little nook here because otherwise it would get way overloaded. Because when you overload one spot of a watercolor piece with too much watercolor, it actually buckles the paper, which is not good. So you want to try to spread water out as much as you can to mitigate that. Okay. Cool. The trickiest bit has been handled. Thank goodness. Okay. Yes, traditional art. Doing it different today. I have this watercolor piece that I need to get done by the end of this weekend, so that is why traditional art this stream. Eventually, I will get a webcam that will capture traditional art streams a lot better than the setup that I currently have, because this is admittedly not a stellar setup. Okay. Just about done with these wings here. And honestly, I think I'm going to keep these wings gray. I know that's not in keeping with the original piece, but, like, I much prefer this. Here, I'll show you what we've got done so far. A shaboom. This is what is done so far. I'm going to put this back flat just in case, because that gray is still kind of wet. But yes, I know this isn't in keeping with the original piece because I am using this as the basis. This piece, I do not recall the artist's name off the top of my head, but the piece is called Two Brothers. What I'm painting is partly an homage to this, but also a send up to it, and also just a repaint for a gallery showing in Columbus, Ohio called Comics versus Art. It's a show that won't be live until like mid-September, but I'm working on this piece right now. The way that we put this show together is the organizer, Canada Keck, very cool person. When she and I were hanging out at Space, Small Press Alternative Comics Expo, she told me that she wanted to bring back Comics versus Art. She let me flip through a binder full of classic art pieces, and she was like, pick as many as you would like, and redraw it in a comic style. And this piece was the first piece that made me go, yes. And when I flipped through the entire rest of the binder, this was basically one of only 2 other pieces that made me go, yes. The other piece was already claimed by somebody else. So I just went with this one. Pretty sure this is Albrecht Dürer, but I do not recall. Don't quote me on that. I probably got that wrong, but I know that the piece is called Two Brothers. It's the fact that it's this human and a dragon, and the piece is called Two Brothers, made me go, there's a story there. So in the redrawing that I'm doing, or the repainting that I'm doing, I'm paying homage to it. I'm referencing the composition and the feelings that I got when I looked at the piece. And that's my basis for why I'm painting this the way that I am. I'm not doing a one-to-one replication. I'm doing something that captures the feeling that I had when I looked at the original piece, which is this. It's not finished yet. I still got to paint the rest of the dragon and finish off the colors on the human figure, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Unfortunately, I'm keeping it to water this time. I don't have room with my current table setup to have my mug warmer and a cup of tea. Unfortunately, there's not enough space for that. So water for now. We'll have a cup of tea after. Let's see. But because I'm doing a homage rather than a one-to-one replication, I'm playing it a little bit more loose with the colors, which is good because the original dragon was very muted, probably to make the human figure pop out more. But in my repainting, I may keep the dragon like a more neutral color tone set, just to keep the focal point on the human figure in the middle, but I don't want the dragon to blend in with the background like in the original piece. So we're gonna do a gray wash, methinks, for the rest of the dragon, because I really like how it turned out on the wings. Though I wanted to incorporate a little bit more blue in the dragon, I just don't have good watercolors for that. Let me check my Copics, because Copic may have a more... Ooh, okay. So Copic does have a color that could work for me. Good. I'm gonna go with a that is an unusual request. Cut my life into pieces. You didn't say how to sing it, so I just sang it like Kermit the Frog, because why not? All right. We're gonna go with... Here we are. BG72 Ice Ocean. This Copic tone here for the dragon. We're gonna do brush end and paint it in the rest of the way. Yeah, honestly, this was a good color choice, I think. I might have to refill this Copic marker a couple of times, though. Oh, speaking of doing silly voices and stuff, a buddy of mine, Ben Wright Human, and myself worked on a new video that will be coming out very soon. that will showcase some of my voice acting capabilities, because I did like a couple of different roles for that video. In that video, I did the mother character, a child character, and a bunch of chupacabras. Once that video is ready to go live, I will reach out to y'all again with a link so that you can watch it. Right now, the video is being reviewed by some of Ben's buddies who are audio mixers, just to make sure that the audio is mixed all proper and good. Can't forget this little schnubbin here. Yes, the schnubbin, the technical term for a part of the dragon's neck that I need to color in. I'm a professional artist. Okay. I'm going to need to refill this marker again because the ink is already kind of drying up. Yeah, I'm going to need to refill that. Hold on. My refill inks I keep over here. There you are. Okay. Now, let's move that there. Get this here. Because when refilling Copics, it can be really easy to have stuff excessively drip. The way you refill Copic inks is you open up both tips and you take your refill ink and you drop it in one dab at a time. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. One dab at a time onto the chisel tip end, and you keep going. I usually keep going until the ink overflows on the chisel end, but you can keep going for as long as you need. This part is not super duper exciting. I apologize. Okay. I think that ought to do it. I will leave this refill ink out just in case. Oop. Put that back here, watercolor mug back in place, and I'm going to put this on my desk because I have my drafting table, which I don't have angled up right now because it's got watercolor stuff on there, and my sitting/standing desk, which I have in the sitting position right now. Okay. I will probably need to refill my Copic inks a lot on this paper because this paper is very absorbent. Well, but the refill is doing its job. Good. Going to paint over that to smooth out the lines. Okay. Now I've got to paint in this line again, or this schnubbin. That was the word that I used earlier. Keep the colors consistent. There. Okay, well, I was about to wrap it up there, but I haven't colored in the tail yet, so let me color in the tail real fast. Okay. Alrighty. You know, at some point I should stream on YouTube for the novelty of it, because I haven't streamed on YouTube for a while. And by stream, I mean like a proper live stream, not one of the archived live streams. Woohoo! And now the dragon's main body is colored in. Shaboom! Showing off the progress one step at a time. I think though, however, this is where I'm going to wrap up the live stream, mostly because I can't really take the silence anymore. I gotta have some kind of music going, so we'll just wrap it up here, and I'll be streaming again tomorrow on Instagram, and you can find my Instagram at Kelsey D Comics. I am doing a giveaway as well on Instagram. If my page on Instagram reaches 500 followers by August 31st, I will give away one character request for free. To enter the giveaway, all you got to do is follow the page. That's it. Do it by August 31st. There you go. And if you would like to check out some of my other stuff, maybe check out some past live streams, go to kelseydcrawford.com/links. Now, usually I stream Tuesdays and Saturdays. Next week, that may not be happening. I know for a fact I'm out of town on Tuesday. Saturday is still up in the air. Any changes to the schedule, I will be announcing that on my social media channels, and those are at kelseydcrawford.com/links. That is it for now. If you would like to check out my webcomic, The Legend of Jamie Roberts, you can find the link for that at kelseydcrawford.com/links. It updates every Wednesday. We're just starting chapter 7, but now would be a good time to catch up if you would like to catch up on it. That is it for now. If you're on Instagram, tune in tomorrow afternoon for another live stream. Thank you all so much for watching. You are awesome. And